What is the impression you want to make on the press if they were to come across you today? How would you want your first impression to be? Would you want them to see that you ate a great dinner or that you have family? I mean, yeah, you want to have those personal posts, but if you're an expert looking for press, is that really the first impression you want to make? What if the life you want is on the other side of finding your voice? The moment you speak up on camera in your own words, doors open and opportunities come your way. Even press may sound like a dream, but it could be your reality if you just start showing up. So if you are feeling overlooked, invisible, or behind in this new media landscape, you are in the right place. Hey everybody, I'm Jamie Maglietta. This is On Cam Ready's Unknown to Known. In today's episode, we are going to take a deep dive into one of the frameworks I believe can help you show up confidently on camera. Potentially, organically, start to build an audience and attract press. Following this episode, there'll be a green room pep talk. It's our way of helping you continue on with your on-camera journey. We provide you some motivational words of wisdom that we would give you if you were in the green room before your on-camera interview or stage presentation. So if you're liking the way this podcast or this YouTube show is flowing for you, be sure to subscribe to this channel. And if you're liking this on your podcasting platform of choice, I do appreciate you giving us a follow and maybe even leaving a review. Since we're going to be digging into a framework on this episode, I really suggest you take out your notes so you can type up some suggestions and tips as I'm sharing, or you can always refer back to this episode. Additionally, in the description, there will be a link to my website. You'll be able to download the online audit, which is a way to see how you would appear to the media. I have had more than 20 years experience in television news. Following this episode, there will be another bonus episode, the Green Room Pep Talk. Today, we are going to dig into a framework that I think can really help you stand out on camera. So be sure to jot down some notes or play the episode back so you can follow along. There'll also be a link in the description to my online audit. This online audit is free to download, and it basically helps you see how the press would see you if they were searching your name online. I've worked at CNN, Fox, BET, NBC, ABC, you name it, I've been there. And I've worked in many control rooms. I've tried to book unique voices for many years. And sometimes it was really hard to find the right person because they didn't have the ideal online presence. Whenever I would pitch a guest that I would find in an article, for example, people would ask, "Do you have a YouTube clip?" No. Do you have anything that shows what they would say on camera or how they would be on camera? No. Well, do they have good engagement on social media? No. That would happen quite often. Now, I loved finding unique voices and I would still pitch them even if I couldn't find an online presence. But it just comes down to this plain and simple fact. If you are an expert and you want media attention, you need to show up online. You need to lean into the media ecosystem, either on YouTube, Twitter, X, LinkedIn, wherever. You need to be there. And with the new media landscape growing and traditional media splintering, there actually is more opportunities than you think. While there may be news deserts across our country with the lack of newspapers and local news, there is a growing opportunity here for you to show up and deliver what you have to offer on podcasts. There's also local news podcasts now. There are streaming networks. You have CNN Linear, you have CNN Max. There's so many different platforms now. They're trying to hit the Alexa, they're trying to hit YouTube, Hulu. There's so many platforms and so many opportunities. They can't possibly have the same guest on 3 shows that are across 3 different platforms that need to be different. No, they're gonna need fresh voices. So this is your chance, your opportunity to start showing up and being seen. You need to be in the scroll, and you need to be on YouTube, in podcasts, and have a long form body of work that shows you are an authority. You are a reliable source. And since this is an ideal time for you to show up, you need to think like a producer. See, producers create calm clarity, and they give confidence to the anchors and correspondents you see every day so that they can deliver a polished presence on camera, so the show can be polished. That's all a producer is doing. We are shaping. We're essentially taking a blank canvas, filling it with content, and making sure everyone is on the same page and ready to deliver. When I realized that this could be applied to professionals, authors, and entrepreneurs, I had to start sharing. So I began crafting this YouTube podcast and YouTube channel with you in mind. I truly believe that you don't need another guru, you need a producer's eye, someone who can help you build out the structure that you need in place to be consistent and to break down your experiences so that you can relate to your audience. And what's incredible about this new media space is you can really tell what people like and what people don't like. In television news, I'd have to wait for the ratings, and I couldn't always tell, well, was it the segment in the B block or the C block that kind of turned people off, right? Now you can tell right away. You can headline test, you can, what is it called? Thumbnail test, you can tile test. You can test out your visuals, your headlines, your copy, everything. And if it doesn't work, you can try again. So I truly believe that confidence is built, and I believe that you can build confidence through content. Every time you post, you're not just putting something online, you're rehearsing, you're sharpening, you're building authority post by post. Think of it this way. Like in news, every television segment that we put together is practice for the next. Every rundown sharpens the team. Your content is your rehearsal, but you want to make sure that what you're putting out there is thought through before you launch. Each time you hit publish, each time you go to air, you are becoming more polished and more known. I explain this in more detail in my upcoming bootcamp. Be sure to visit my website oncamready.com for more. Join the waitlist. It's under the Essentials Bootcamp. You can also join the Substack community, which I'm trying to build so we can have more of a conversation there. Join us on Substack. See, I look at creating content as a way to break down your life's work into bite-sized pieces to create what we call in television talking points. These talking points, these little bite-sized pieces of social media content are also going to help you it helps the guest stay to their message, but also keep their sound bites short enough so that TV producers can re-air them and fit them into their block. You want to be able to deliver a ton of value in a short amount of time when you're on television. The same goes to social media. See, the media is already scrolling, right? So if you're showing up with bits and pieces of what you can offer, when they're scrolling and they happen to come across your page, that is going to leave an impression. What is the impression you want to make on the press if they were to come across you today? How would you want your first impression to be? Would you want them to see that you ate a great dinner or that you have family? I mean, yeah, you want to have those personal posts, but if you're an expert looking for press, is that really the first impression you want to make? If you want to make a lasting impression on the media, on social media, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, wherever, you want to make sure that you're weaving in your expertise so that they can see how you would deliver on camera, on television, or quoted in a magazine. Your idea that you post online might even become the headline of a magazine article. You need to program your social media like your own media channel. You want to make sure it is laid out to really represent all you can offer. Define your story, and I know you will shine. I know, I hear you. You're like, oh, everything is so saturated. I don't want to show up. Everyone's already there. No, they're not. I want you to dig in to your niche or your industry, whatever you want to call it. How many of those experts within your industry are showing up on camera, delivering value, offering their opinion, providing advice, and weighing in, maybe even on the news? How many? Bet you not many. And that's the point I'm making. While you see all these big name traditional television anchors move to the new media space, building out channels of their own on YouTube, Substack, and other platforms, Patreon, they're doing that because they can. They have the skills. They can deliver. But they're also doing it because others are there and they're hungry for content. They're hungry for content. And those new media shows are hungry for guests. Think about it. Do you listen to the guests on television and think, I could do that? I should be booked. Start positioning yourself so you could be. And showing up on camera and building that authority is going to help you attract a publicist. It's going to help you and your PR firm book you. If you have a PR agency and they're not getting you press, you got to start wondering, is it me? It could be. So start showing up, have these deep conversations, break down your body of work, and start thinking like a producer. Whoa! That was a lot. And I will say this, podcasting is a great outlet. Riverside FM came out, I don't know, maybe a few months ago and said over 450 million people listen to podcasts. That number is supposed to reach 619 million by 2026. More and more media companies are also expanding their podcasting. And that podcasting is showing up where, everybody? YouTube. Why? Because YouTube has become the most popular search engine for locating podcasts. And you keep thinking, is it oversaturated? There's 4 million podcasts. 15% of that 4 million are active. 15%. That's not a lot. Your chances of being discovered, your chances of building an audience if you're consistent are pretty good. And I will say, with so many people cutting the linear cable and turning to streaming, YouTube, I think it's also, well, let me look at this. It was Nielsen. Nielsen came out with this report saying that YouTube and other streaming platforms have seen a huge increase of viewership. Why? Because more and more people are turning to their computers and their televisions in their homes that are hooked up to the Wi-Fi and not cable. You could be there. You could have your own show. Heck, I do now. Why? Because I want to empower you and encourage you to show up. If you want a podcast and you don't know where to start, I highly recommend you reach out to me. I can help you, or I can connect you with multiple different variety of people that will help you break your thought leadership down into a podcast idea. I have great vendors that I work with. I also work with people who can help you build out a website in a day if you need that. So stay connected and be sure to visit my website, oncamready.com, and connect with me on Instagram, Jamie_Maglietta, because I am there and I'm willing to connect with you anywhere. So stop treating your social media like a scrapbook and start treating it like your own media channel. All right, let's start digging into this framework that I think will be helpful for you if you're trying to figure out how to turn your life's work into content. I have spelt out the word WHAT: who, how, approach, and transformation. This is one of the frameworks I teach in my upcoming course, but I really wanted to share here so that you can start thinking about how you would show up on camera confidently. The W is for who. Who are you and who are you talking to? Who are you and who are you talking to? You need to have that clarity. The H is for how. How do you want to convey that message and talk to the who you are hoping will connect with your content? How? When I say how, I'm really asking you, is it a newsletter, social media? Are you showing up with a podcast, a YouTube show? How are you connecting with your who? A is for approach. Your approach also needs to be unique to your industry and your niche. If you're a lawyer, you may want to show up a different way than if you are, say, a doctor. You may want to have a different tone or a different approach or talk about different things, right? You also want to be able to lean into the news as best you can. So by providing value around a news story or a trend or something that's happening within your own industry will also help legitimize your authority. So you want to think about how you're going to approach your who. In my course, as well as in our live group sessions, we will be breaking that down. I'm excited to help more people identify how they want to start approaching their who. And then T is the transformation. You really want to understand and know what you want your who to leave your content with. So you want them to be transformed in a certain way. Your transformation needs to be ironed out because that is going to help you with your talking points in an interview. You need to weave in the points that you're hoping your audience will hear, and you want your audience to take an action. If you're a lawyer giving advice on cases and different types of law, you're not just doing it to hopefully bring back business to your own firm. You are not just showing up to offer value. You need to make sure you are transforming your audience with your content. You're providing them with value that ultimately encourages them to either purchase something, you're helping shape their opinion on a topic, and ultimately that comes back to you so that you can keep on delivering what you feel your mission is to serve them online. And that's what's really great about applying media to social media and your online presence, because in media, all of our guests show up with this already thought through. It's just a different application. It's a new framework. And so I really want you to iron out who you are, who you're talking to, how you really want to convey your message, your approach, and the transformation you plan on offering. If you have missed this, refer back, play the podcast episode again, leave a comment, leave a review. I really want to hear from you. Okay. Before we do this recap, I just wanted to remind you that in the description, there is a link to an online audit. I highly recommend that you audit yourself online to see how you would come up if the press were to ever search your name. You want to make sure that your message, your why, is clearly stated online. You want to make sure, especially now that Instagram is searchable on Google, that your best foot is put forward. You want to make sure your first impression is the best one and the right one. So comb the internet and see how you show up. That audit will truly help you. All right, the life you want is on the other side of finding your voice. Confidence is built through preparation. Social media is your own channel. So start programming it with intention. And I'm sure that if you start applying my framework, you will start to see the clarity and begin to create content with confidence. So you're going to build confidence through content and create content with confidence. So here's my challenge. I want you to use this week to push yourself to post one piece of content and tag me at Jamie_Maglietta on Instagram or on CamReady on YouTube, or find me on LinkedIn and tag me to that. I want you to post this piece of content as if the press is already watching. What would you want them to know about you? If you're an educated expert, an author, a well-known industry expert, just not known by the media or the press, or you are extraordinarily knowledgeable about a topic, I want you to push yourself. Create content this week, talking to the camera, sharing value, and tag me. Post as if the press is already watching. Give it a try. I really think that the more of you putting yourself out there, the better our media will become, because we need fresh voices. We need more experts. We need you. And if you start showing up, you'll give the producers and journalists more people to turn to for reliable sources. So make sure you also post with integrity. Don't post misinformation, post fact and opinion, but back your opinion up with maybe statistics. I break all this down in my course and in my live group coaching that I'm going to be offering. So again, if you're interested, join the waitlist on camready.com. Following this episode, there will be a green room pep talk. Those bonus episodes are our way of helping motivate you when you're really stuck. And we want to help you continue your on-camera journey and know that we've got your back, because the green room is where you sit and wait before your TV interview. And that's where everyone is pouring into you, giving you those last words of encouragement. And I wanted to make sure that this podcast does that for you as well. So be sure to look out for the Thursday Green Room Pep Talks. Okay, there's been a lot of talking on this episode, not having a guest. My goodness, I'm exhausted. But do find me online and find us on Substack so we can keep this conversation going. And I'll see you guys. Okay, bye.